Why are most people cowards? Authority and obedience, from duality to unity. Authoritarianism in religion and science, let alone politics, is becoming increasingly accepted, not particularly because so many people explicitly believe in it, but because they feel themselves individually powerless and anxious. So what else can one do except follow the mass political leader, or follow the authority of customs, public opinion, and social expectations? A decline in courage may be the most striking feature which an outside observer notices in the West in our days. Should one point out that from ancient times declining courage has been considered the beginning of the end? Our particular problem in the present day is an overwhelming tendency toward conformity. In such times, ethics tend more and more to be identified with obedience. One is good to the extent that one obeys the dictates of society. It is as though the more unquestioning obedience, the better. But what really is ethical about obedience? If one's goal were simple obedience, one could train a dog to fulfill the requirements very well. Intelligent obedience. If a guide dog recognizes a command is unsafe, it will refuse the command and disobey. This is what trainers call intelligent disobedience. Now, if we could only teach humans this skill. People who value social conformity support the government when it wants to increase its control over social behavior and punish nonconformity. Valuing social conformity increases the motivation for placing restrictions on behavior. The hallmark of courage in our age of conformity is the capacity to stand on one's own convictions. We are fast approaching the stage of the ultimate inversion, the stage where the government is free to do anything it pleases, while the citizens may act only by permission, which is the stage of the darkest period of human history, the stage of rule by brute force. If a world is unjust, a man is not only right to disobey it, he is obliged to do so. Thomas Jefferson, third President of the USA. One has a moral responsibility to disobey unjust laws. Martin Luther King. I was just following orders. Authority and obedience, from duality to unity. This poster was created by Guy from Personocratia years ago. All these years later, it could not be more perfect. All obedience has to do is to find the courage to obey only her soul. And authority will eventually vanish. At that point, authority and obedience become one, in unity. Peace treaty. Given that I am the unique creatrix of the universe, given that all the universe is my creation, in my own image and likeness, it is agreed by my two parties that I unite creatrix with creation. I make peace. I will now share a small part of my book, True Freedom is Inside of Me, which I wrote during my time in jail, because I found the courage to act in peaceful non-cooperation by not paying income tax. I went to prison. Here is part of what I wrote on courage. Instead of looking for someone to blame, I must find the courage to change myself. No matter how much time is spent blaming someone else for my problems, it is never going to change me. Today, I recognize that I control my destiny, and I find the confidence and courage inside myself to change my life. I start my work by stripping away my defenses and fears. With courage, I advance in the direction of my dreams. I was faced with a divergent path, and courage allowed me to take the one that very few travel on. I know that this choice is the one I had to make to accomplish my transformation. I can choose to believe that there are no mistakes in life, only lessons that will allow me to go farther and farther on my journey. I find the courage to keep going because this life is far from over. When I was taken out of my comfort zones and incarcerated, I experienced a type of mental meltdown. The challenges and fears that I faced were like an insurmountable wall. A huge wave of negative and destructive thoughts started blowing through my head, and I let my egotistic mind to be ruled by panic of what my new reality will be. Slowly, I realized that everything could be taken away from me but one thing, the most important human freedom: free will. The free will to choose my attitude in any given set of circumstances. Happiness and success in life do not depend on circumstances, they depend on what I do with those circumstances. It is completely irrelevant what other people tell me my life should be. What matters is what I tell myself my life should be. Easier said than done, right? Can I really find the courage to choose happiness while I am in jail? Why not? Feelings are not just emotions that happen to me. Feelings are reactions I choose to have. Will I choose to be embarrassed and ashamed by what happened to me? Will I choose to be angry or depressed? I choose to be positive. Live in the now with joy and appreciation. People who are emotionally or professionally paralyzed are unable to pull themselves out of their ruts because of fear. They're afraid of the idea of change, any change. People are ultimately in fear of losing what is familiar, afraid of killing off their old identities and old securities. This jail experience gave me the courage to let go of the old securities because they no longer exist. I will have to change how I do things in the future, but there's nothing to fear. Things will simply be different. I choose to trust that everything is perfect, even if the path before me is uncomfortable, scary, and not walked on by others. I won't worry. Fear at some level will probably always exist in my life. Change is possible even with fear. Each time I act in spite of my fear, I discover a greater and deeper courage within myself. The willingness to keep changing is the bridge that allows me to step out of the known into the unknown. The divine is within all of us. If I expect an outside God to answer my prayers, nothing much will happen. If this external God answered yes to all the prayers, there would be no sickness, no discomfort, no death, no hunger, no pain, no adversity, no poverty, no challenge, and no disappointment. If there were none of these things, there would be no learning, no growth, and no change. Without this evolution of consciousness, growth, and change, what is the point of living? Life is about going through this mysterious and often very painful journey. This journey must be painful so that I am forced to make the difficult choice of letting go of the known and allow the unknown. We are all individual creatrix because we are infinite love. We individually create our opportunities. We are in full and complete control of our lives. I must ask myself, will I courageously do all that is required of me? If I honestly and sincerely answer yes to that question, then miracles will manifest. Am I prepared to go the distance? Do I recognize that my life is not a sprint, but a long-distance journey? I'm working on it. I recognize that there is no such thing as a problem too great to handle because I am the creatrix of my individual life. I would never give myself a goal that I could not achieve. This does not mean that I won't have to step out of my comfort zones. Getting out of my comfort zone is not easy. It cannot be done in a short sprint to the finish. It takes a long, long time. To live a self-created life to its fullest towards peace and personal satisfaction, I need tenacity, determination, discipline, and courage. I chose to start this life, and I will not quit before I'm done. This is a promise I make to myself. Happiness is a choice I make. I make this choice every day, especially now, here in jail. I consciously make this choice. I cannot control the environment I'm in, but I can control how I respond to it. Even if I fail again along the way, I know I will have the courage, discipline, and determination to get back up and try again. I won't worry about failure, and I don't worry about death. The end of my journey on earth, as I understand it right now, will come when I achieve my chosen purpose. I can't imagine wanting to change anything about my life. My journey continues as I live each day with gratitude, purpose, passion, discipline, determination, and courage. There's a lot that must be done for me to fulfill my dream of transformation. I will need courage, determination, and discipline. Life is a comedy. Let's enjoy the show and at the same time, hurry up to cross the wall of death and move toward sovereignty, infinite love. It is up to us not to comply, yet have compassion towards others, no matter where they are at on their evolutionary path of consciousness. Every day, I must reinforce my resolve to move forward on my evolutionary path towards the new species. Let us rejoice, because everything that unfolds in the world of lies is only an illusion, and this world of lies is disintegrating before us exponentially. From hell on earth to paradise on earth, we are building what many said was impossible. Consider joining us in our consciousness community on the edge of the town of Popayan in southern Colombia. This is an invitation for a long-term stay at Cascada Café Retiro in Colombia. There is absolutely nowhere to hide. Having said that, in Popayan there is good food growth throughout the year, and the temperate mountain climate makes life very comfortable here. Will you join us in this paradise on earth? I consult by phone and offer tools so that you can find your individual solution by making contact with your soul. Please share my videos so that this information can reach the people who need it. Infinite love.